A prominent lawyer leaving the case of one of President Trump's accusers, former Apprentice contestant Summer Zervos. This, as Stormy Daniels' lawyer is digging in, telling CNN that he has a mountain of evidence against the president and his attorney. CNN's Athena Jones has the details.
Stormy Daniels set for a weekend of stripping in Nashville, performing as the porn star that trumps them all.
We're expecting a really good show.
As her lawyer, Michael Avenatti, faces questions about when he'll reveal proof of the affair Daniels says she had with President Donald Trump in 2006.
That's part of evidence.
And why he has yet to explain this tweet with a picture of a DVD and the caption, "If a picture is worth 1,000 words, how many words is this worth?"
Tell us right now what's on that DVD.
Well, I'm not going to do that. I mean, I know that everyone wants that. We're in a society where everybody wants immediate gratification. We've got a lawsuit to try.
I guess the point is, what's your evidence? What's your evidence that there was an affair?
We've got a mountain of evidence.
Such as?
The American people. Well, I'm not going to lay out all of our evidence.
Daniels is suing to be released from what she argues is an invalid hush agreement. Invalid because Trump did not sign it.
And I want to bring in Avery Friedman right now, a civil rights attorney, and Richard Herman, a criminal defense attorney, to talk about all of this. Richard, let's start with the deposition. I mean, do you agree with Mr. Avenatti? Is the judge's rejection of his deposition because it being too premature is actually a good thing? Can he make that claim?
I don't know that it's a good thing. I don't think the motion was timely, and so the judge made a procedural decision. But the bottom line here is this. It's always the cover-up that causes the problem. If I represented Trump and this came out early on, I would have had him go on Twitter or TV and say, yes, I was with Stormy and the Playmate and others, and it's none of your business. And this thing is over with. But they didn't do that. And supposedly Michael Cohen, out of his love and devotion for the president, concocted this ridiculous web and scheme to shut up Stormy Daniels. And with Michael Cohen and his new spokesperson, David Schwartz, they have republished and stated unequivocally, Trump knew nothing about this agreement. Well, if Trump knew nothing about this agreement, how could Trump be a party to the agreement if he knew nothing about it, number one?
Easy.
And number two, it's not easy. It's a fact.
Sure
and number two, there are warranties and representations made in the agreement by Trump to Stormy Daniels. He couldn't possibly make those if he was not a party and didn't know about the agreement. So Michael Avenatti has to stop being cute and seeking publicity for himself now. The case is ripe for a summary judgment dismissal. He will get it. This case is over.
Let's see.
Well, Avery, to that point, I mean, Avenatti is certainly using all of this drama to get him on television as much as possible, and he keeps claiming that he's got this evidence to prove his case, and the president should be deposed, but he still hasn't revealed any of it. Is it likely the president will be deposed?
I thought Athena Jones' package was terrific with him, because she was asking the right questions. Right. He was ducking and weaving. I mean, he thought it was a prize fight. The bottom line on it is, if you read Judge James Otero's opinion, he actually was very kind, Mr. Avenatti. He said, you know, you better start being a little bit more careful. This is federal court. Everybody here thinks that they're Rambo. But at the end of the day, I'm not quite sure I have an understanding why the Trump private legal team needs to be Rambo. There's something to be said about playing it down, not bullying it off. And that's what's going on right now. It is true that Avenatti got shot down on his effort to do a 2-hour deposition with Mr. Trump. But ultimately, the federal rules of civil procedure, and the Supreme Court has said so, it will give him an opportunity to take the deposition. So instead of ramping it up, frankly, there has been no effort to unwind it, to diffuse it, and this is going to turn into a total, it's going to get worse than it is right now, Brian. And the bottom line is, there is going to be a deposition. There is no way Donald Trump can escape that. No way on earth.
All right, well, Richard, let's go back to a point that you made earlier. And Cohen's spokesman, David Schwartz, said the president never even knew about the non-disclosure agreement with Stormy Daniels and thus had no idea about the $130,000 payment to silence Stormy. Listen to what he told CNN.
The president was not aware of the agreement. At least Michael Cohen never told him about the agreement. I can tell you that. And you asked a whole bunch of questions, so let me cover that. So you asked about 12 days before.
Not aware about the agreement. What about the money?
He was not aware about any of it. He was not aware.
Okay.
He wasn't told about it. Michael Cohen left the option open. That's why he left that signature line.
David Dennison.
The option open to go to him. He chose not to.
So, Richard, if you can quickly, how likely is that? And if it's true, does it undermine the entire agreement?
He just laid the foundation for a summary judgment motion to dismiss this case and have the judge declare the agreement null and void because Trump could not possibly have been a participant to agreement he knew nothing about. In the real world, though, it's beyond ludicrous and absurd. Everyone knows Trump had to have known. They're saying this because of the campaign finance violation, because if Trump knew about the agreement and they made the $130,000 payment, they got a major problem.
The Justice Department's going to look into, right?
Yeah, well, it's his Justice Department now. But it's really
we'll see.
Preposterous. This case will be dismissed if Avenatti makes that motion. If he doesn't make the motion, he's just a publicity seeker, and he's not doing the right thing for the client. They moved to get rid of this case, this document, this agreement. They should make that motion now, and they'll win.
All right. Sorry, guys. We're up against a break here, so I'm going to have to let you go. Thank you so much, Avery Friedman and Richard Herman. We appreciate it. And a quick reminder, don't